Hello YouTube, this is NightmareXDR from Darkness Blade, and today I'm gonna show you how to install my Set Cursor Position plugin for Unity. Please note that I am not a native speaker and my accent may not that be good, or I may make some mistakes. And it is a plugin I have been working on, and one of its main features are teleporting the cursor, simulating it to move in a realistic way, controlling it from the keyboard, or triggering mouse clicks from the keyboard. Okay, let's get things working now. As you may see, I'm in a totally new scene with nothing on it, and let's start by installing it on Unity after you have downloaded it. Okay, import. Compiling the scripts. Oh damn, what's that? Reload. Okay, this won't happen to you. It's something that only I get a few times. And another thing is that file is totally unnecessary to you. If you get that, delete it right away. Okay, and for the installation you should go to edit, project settings, player, other settings, and where it says .NET 2.0 subnet, you should change that to .NET 2.0. That's very important. Without that my plugin won't work. You should do it. And another thing that's very essential as well is to drag and drop that script into an empty game object somewhere. Well, in that case I'm on the example scene, so the script is already here, so let's say it's not. Drag and drop it. Okay, and that's just it. You completed the installation and now you are ready to use it. Let me demonstrate to you how the asset works. Let's reload the example scene now and play. Okay, that's the example scene. There are a few GUI to help you. Okay, when you press and hold the right click, the cursor's position will be saved, and by the time you release the right click, it will be loaded. And by that time, the time you will be holding the key down, the cursor will be invisible. So let's say if I want to right click here, you see the cursor is invisible. Let's say I move it. You see I move it outside the window and it's visible. By the time I release it, it loads back to its original position. That's useful for MMO games, RPG games, where you want to rotate your character around and you want to give the effect that the cursor is still in the same place when you rotate. And let's see how does this look inside the Unity window. Right click, holding, moving. This time I'm moving it inside the Unity window. You see, I'm moving it. Now I release and it's like I never moved the cursor from that position. Next thing is when you press and hold the Q button, the cursor will lock and hide and reset its position. This can be achieved with the casual Unity scripting API. Let's just see it. Pressing Q, releasing Q, the cursor is in the middle. That's something easy to do. Next thing is when you press the B button, you set the cursor at the values in the inspector. Let's say these are the values, 44, some random numbers, doesn't matter. And now I press B. You see the cursor teleport here. If I had an X of 50, let's say, and press B, the cursor would be here. That's 50 points from the screen's left. Okay, also by clicking that button can be done the same right here. Okay, next thing. By pressing the C key, the cursor will move into random coordinates. C, C, C. You notice it's teleporting, it's not moving smoothly. We'll come to that later. It's useful for, this can be useful for, let's say, first-person shooter games where you want your gun to shake. You can set the cursor to move into random coordinates within a small area right in the middle, and so the cursor will start moving into random coordinates and the gun will follow. I don't know, you can think your own ways of doing it. And next thing is the save and load function. Let's say by pressing 1 here and 2 here, this and these coordinates will be recorded, and by the time I press 3, the cursor will go to the saved position 1, and by the time I press 4, the cursor will go to the saved position 2. Let's see that. Pressing 3, pressing 4. 3, 4, 3, 4. It's useful. I know you may want to change that or whatever, but it's useful. Next thing, when you press and hold the U button, you will simulate a cursor move in random coordinates. Let's see that. U, U, U. Now, this thing is useful again. You may want to... Okay, why press and hold? Press and hold because you may want to not complete the action. Let's say if the cursor was here and the point was here, when you press U and release it immediately, the cursor would do something like that. Okay, while for the totally automatically function, just press H once to simulate an auto cursor move in random coordinates. That's the same with the above function, but this time you just press and release the H button and the cursor will just go on its own. You don't have to do it all the way around. The difference is that with the U you have to call it on every frame. With the H, one frame is enough. Pressing H to demonstrate it. You see, I just press and release it. Totally useful. Okay, with the P button you store the values of the current mouse position, cursor position, sorry, in a vector 2, sorry. In my case, the vector 2 is that thing, and by pressing P, you see the values change. Pressing P here, P, the values are changing. And with the older function of B, by pressing B, the cursor will go to these values. Pressing P here and B here, B, 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 okay. And one of the most useful things you get with my plugin is this one, the simulation. Okay, the ASDW keys are input. You can replace them with joystick input like the one from the PS3 controller or the Xbox controller or anything with a joystick, and with that you can simulate the cursor to move around with the keyboard or your joystick. Let me show you. Pressing W, pressing S, D, A. With that the cursor is moving smoothly around. It's very quick, smooth and efficient, it doesn't cost anything, performance free, totally useful. I'm sorry for that, my recording program just crashed. And as for that, I forgot to mention that for the save positions you can have unlimited number of these. You can have, let's say, a number of 99,000 or and the same goes for the load positions, as the save positions are unlimited, so the load positions are. Okay, and with that we move to the next function, the space function. What this does is whenever I press space, it's like pressing the left mouse button. Whenever I release space, it's like releasing the left mouse button. And that can be very useful in many cases. Let's see that this time I will just use the left mouse button clicking, releasing. This was done with the mouse. This time we'll do it with space. Pressing space, releasing. That's just the same, no difference at all. Very useful. You can use any key as for every of those functions. It's not necessary to use the Q, the B, the C, the 1, 2 numbers, or the space key. You choose your own, you use your own. I will show you the examples. And that's it. As for the Z button, its difference with the space button is that when I press Z, a full mouse click will be calculated, not just simulating a click. Let's say I press space and release it, that's a click. When I press Z and I don't release it, it's a click has already been done by the time I pressed Z down. Let's see that, pressing Z and not releasing it. Now I release it, released. So it's a quick function. Same for the X button, but this time it's for the right click. The X button, the same here. Okay, and by that I have finished the tutorial. Let me show you a glimpse of the, let's say, C# example or the joystick example. Waiting for mono behavior to start. Okay, what's that? Bug. Okay, you see it's a very basic code. This is the code to simulate a joystick. You may be wondering for that. I have tags everywhere so you can read and understand everything. Just calling my function and simulate controller, the horizontal input and the vertical input, and the value of speed. Can adjust that. Very useful, very handy, no performance. Okay, the C# example. Here we've got a lot. Not again the error. Okay, here we've got a lot of stuff to show you. Yeah, blah 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 here. The update function, you see I explain everything. That's the Q button, the mouse 1, the mouse 2, the B, the C button. That's what I meant by changing those values. And what you should call is something like that. If you wanna set the position, the cursor position into a random value, you call screen cursor dot set position, and the X value, in my case it's a random value between 0 and the screen width, and the C button, again a random value. This was the save function, save by pressing button 1. These two numbers don't have to do anything. You could press the G button here and save at number 1. Again, I explain everything. Moving down, skipping the few parts to make the tutorial smaller. These are the newest functions I have added. By pressing the H key down, a random vector will be calculated. So when I press the H button, the screen cursor the screen cursor will simulate and automatically move through that vector 2 with a speed value of 0.2. Note that when you are simulating a move, like here or here, this value should be below below 1 and above 0. If you set it above 1, it will just teleport and won't have the effect of smoothly moving. And that's the auto move. That's okay, sorry for that, I forgot that. Yeah, by pressing down that key, the cursor will move automatically. You have to press the U button and every frame call this function. This function has to be called ons, that's their difference. And the P is storing the test coordinates. That's how you store coordinates. And that's how I simulate the clicks. Screen cursor dot left click, useful, right click, and that's the function where, let's say, the left click equals to space, the space button. So whenever you press the space button, it's like pressing your left mouse click. Same goes with the right click, but I didn't demonstrate to you. And that's it. And if you want, I can show you the readme file. Again. Okay, that's all the API you get. It's right here. Everything is been explained. Some useful API, example uses, how to install the plugin, and almost everything. If you have any questions, email me, ask me a question, comment, find me on forums, I don't know, find a way to contact me. I will respond as fast as possible. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, like and share. See ya.